And we are live. Once again.
Here we are.
Once more under the breach. I don't know. It's not like good to start us off with.
Oh, hey.
Oh, is that Facebook reminding us that we have a live stream?
Yeah, did you know we have a live stream?
No, I didn't know that at all. We have a live stream. I'll be darned.
I'm shocked.
I am absolutely shocked. So welcome all of our viewers who right now is a grand total of 1.
It's Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
How are you doing, Michelle? Did you want me to shuffle your cards real quick?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
While people are joining the live stream.
We are not fucking kidding, Michelle. Look, she wrote a swear.
Oh, this is supposed to be.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
We have frozen.
Oh, the camera shut off. Awesome.
Yay!
There we go.
Oh, the camera's back.
It's going to be one of those nights, apparently.
Hey, why not? Facebook's been screwing around with us. Their changes have changed. So the thing is,
their changes have changed.
Well,
the
thing is that the posting of this event, some people could see it, and
some people could not.
And like, what, we didn't do anything different than we're supposed to.
Oh, look, 2 of our people on our list are already here. Hello, Valinda. Hello, Hannah and Annie. Yes, I will put you down.
Yes, we still have some spots on the list for those who would like to have readings this evening. Because we have a grand total of 10, and we have up to...
We currently have...
4.
Yes, we currently have 6 open spots. So, get them while they're hot.
Yes, we have Brianna, we have Hannah, we have Valinda, and now we have Annie.
And, got you, Liz.
Liz, you're in. Actually... This thing's a little too far away. I can't.
Oh, that's why I was having trouble.
I can't see what the heck is going on. Brian Stewart would like we're reading, so mark him down as well. Excuse us, we're a little discombobulated right now.
We're doing things without Sound Guy.
Yes, Sound Guy is not here tonight. Oh darn!
I'm a little sad.
So that means we have to solve him behind his back rather than to his face.
How do you know he's not watching?
Isn't he still at work?
He could be in the back.
Possibly. So this is a little late for us in the month as well. This has been a busy September.
It has, hasn't it?
And now we are getting all that much closer to October. And you know what happens in October.
It's our Christmas.
Good evening, Rose. She says lots of love. So, here is what we have going on tonight. Actually, it's the same thing we have going on every time we go on one of these live streams. We're going to do some psychic readings for you, free of charge, of course. And what we are going to do is that we still have a few spots available. So if anybody would like to have one, just raise your hand, so to speak, and type in the comments. And Red here is taking the tally and keeping the list here, so I will let
Wow, that took me 4 separate tries.
What?
To count to 6.
You're tired. Anyway, so we will go as first come, first serve. We have a few people who signed up ahead of time, so they will go first. And those who are signing up now will come afterwards. I'm
not entirely sure how to pronounce your name, so please correct me. But Sam, I can absolutely...
Sam Sabat?
Yes, that one. Oh. I can totally put you on the list. Tell Heather and Jess hello also, Mallory, and also if you guys have a few moments in between karaoke songs, tune in. They do Thursday night karaoke.
Oh, really? Did not know that. That sounds like fun.
I got you also... You pronounced it right. How did you pronounce it?
Sabat?
Had the whole name?
Was it Siam?
I said that you pronounced it correctly, so I will go with what you said.
Okay.
But I see you, and I also see Rose. So
So anyway, when it is your time, we are doing tarot card readings. And the idea being is like this camera seems to be moving for some silly reason.
It's because I'm writing. I'm shaking the table
Oh, okay.
slightly. Sorry.
Okay, that's what it is. So we do tarot card readings. Each reading tonight is going to be a 3-card reading. We have multiple decks, and you can choose your deck, and you can choose which one of us you'd like to have to be your primary reader. Of course, the reality is that we will probably both chime in anyway.
We typically do.
Because that's usually what happens in this. And as always, we are both charged with our specific Dragon Tarot decks. Red also has her Swiss 11J deck that we've also phrased as the Dark Shadows deck, because that was actually used in the old 1960s TV show Dark Shadows.
And also, that's just a more interesting name.
It is much more interesting than Swiss 11J is like, well, I don't know who ever came up with that name. And then I happen to what?
So Rose, do you need to go first so that you can then go to bed? We do make a point of mentioning this, but to our friends who are in other time zones, that are earlier than later than us, if you need to go either earlier or later, please let us know. If it's 1:30 where you are, Rose, we can totally have you go first so that you could then go to bed if you like.
Well, Siam, it's 4:30 where he is.
Oh, wow. Gosh, everybody's up very early.
I was going to say,
late.
They are way across the pond in some cases.
Yes, Melissa. Let me see. Yes, Melissa, there is room for you.
Saim? Okay.
Let's.
So yeah, Saim and Rose are definitely on different time zones, way different time zones than we are.
That's always the fun bit about doing this.
Absolutely. So, oh yes, I forgot which one, the basic explanation. I also happen to have for tarot cards my relationship deck called Sexual Magic Tarot. Bum bum bum.
No!
R-rated. So you get to see. So you will see pictures of the cards, and there may be some TNA, as you would say, nipples and rear ends, right?
Well, yeah, there's never any full frontal.
No, there's never any full frontal in this deck anyway. Got some decent metaphors, though.
So, Rose and, did you say Siam?
Siam?
Siam, I will put you up towards the top so that we can...
Yes, I mean, definitely. If either of you really need to go sooner than later because you have other things to do and or want to go back to bed, just let us know, because we can definitely do a quick little adjustment on there. So anyway, when it is your turn, the idea is that choose your deck, choose your reader. Just basically type it in there in the comments. If you have a question, please ask it. You do not have to have one. If you just want a general reading, that's perfectly fine as well. And also then we need to have a number between 1 to 78. That being because we like to have our people put their energies into our tarot decks. Obviously, if we were here in person, we would give the deck to you and tell you to shuffle them. Can't do that because this is a live stream, but we shuffle the decks. But then you pick the starting card. Tarot decks have 78 cards in them. So whenever you pick 1 to 78, I will find that spot in the deck, and that becomes the top card for the 3-card reading.
Very good.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think that was about it.
Okay.
Siam would like to go first.
Okay.
So we will wait for Siam for you to provide all of us with all the information that the Lord here has requested.
Okay.
60.
He wants to go. It sounds like he wants the relationship deck, and he wants to go with number 69.
Okay.
So, is there actually a specific question in there, or more just kind of an overview of relationship issues, so to speak?
Oh, look, and Rose is already chiming in, and so is Valinda. Everybody is very good at chiming in what they would like. Thank you all so much.
Excellent.
It definitely helps us if y'all are ready with your info.
Although Valinda, your number you typed in was 179.
Oh yes, that's too many.
Much. That's a much. Yeah, we need something between 1 to 78 because there are 78 cards in the tarot deck.
Oh goodness, your laptop has come unplugged.
Oh, Yes, definitely plug it back in,
Yes.
or we're gonna have a problem.
Yep.
Joanne has thrown a number out there. Is Joanne on the list?
No.
We-
I see what happened. The power strip shut off.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
I was gonna say, yeah. So if we don't have the power, yes, the laptop will go. Yeah, we won't survive the live stream.
No, we will not. Okay.
Okay, so let's begin with Siam.
Here,
Saim,
I've
excuse me.
made the comment big for you.
Okay, because yes, I can't read.
We will come close physically. We were close in January, but have not been close since.
Okay.
then. Okay.
Very good. And he then said 69, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go from the back of that because that's going to be faster.
Here, I'm going to shut that door.
Oh, you don't want to hear the sound of the heater?
No, I don't know if they do either.
Oh, I think the sound of the heater in the basement here is actually very adorable.
There's something not quite right with you.
People have been saying that for years. And people who are watching this live stream who have seen me before, who would agree with that sentiment?
Yes, very true.
All right, let me position the cards.
And Rose, yes, we will get to you second. So no worries.
So, all right, go ahead and flip the camera over to the card camera.
There you go.
All righty. Our card camera is a little bit of an angle, so we're going to just adjust and make that go with it. So we have, by the way these cards are done is that we do go with inverse versus regular. All three of these cards are inverted. So rather than just leave them that way, I'm going to turn them around so you can all see the pictures. But we will talk about these things as if they are in their inverted poses. First, we have the Strength card, which also doubles for the sign of Leo. We have the Five of Swords, and then we have the Five of Wands. Very interesting. Leo for fire, swords for air, and wands for more fire. From a numerology point of view, and by the way, I should also refer to the fact that, remember, I forgot to tell people, especially those who haven't seen this before, we don't sugarcoat.
No.
We just kind of like lay it on the line here, and you get all of our collective skill sets here. This is not just pure tarot interpretation. So, by the way, Siam, do you happen to be, are you born during the month of Leo, which is Red's birth month?
Woo!
The big fire sign there. Just kind of curious if that is actually very, very true, because the whole point of the fire shows very much aggression. And you've got the character here, the female, rather than playing the role of the lion. Well, actually, it is the role of the lion, but actually
Aries,
it's drawn
so different fire sign.
different fire. Okay. But the idea is that you've got the female, the stereotypical lioness. The lion is actually drawn as a human female who's actually taking down the warthog. So that really, really brings about that whole aggression and the fact of, okay, you definitely, you playing the role of the huntress and bringing that aspect down. And by the way, this deck has always been drawn in the heterosexual perspective, because it's not so much about actual physical gender. It's about male and female energy, which we all possess.
Yes. Energy does not have a gender.
And I was going to say, since you can talk an awful lot about the whole concept of the female energy being the Leo, considering you are. Hi.
It's me.
But then on top of that, you have the pair of fives. You have the couple that's being disrobed, or the woman that's being disrobed with the guy who has kind of a very kind of creepy looking face, if you ask me. And you really can't tell what kind of facial expression she has. And then you have the third card here where the observer is watching two people make love in the woods. And it's very much the feeling of the fact that it's like, yeah, that person kind of thinks that he should be out there with the two of them. This is a bit of a surprise. 5 is all about reevaluation. And the idea is that, the number 11, master number, also 2 for decision. These are all inverted. This is not an easy thing to read, because essentially, it's like these things are all saying the plans have not been going to fruition, not even close.
This also sounds a bit like, this sounds from what the comments were describing long distance, and long distance is complicated.
Long distance is actually quite complicated, exactly. One party is actually having fun. The other one is like not quite sure where this is all going. The one that you have here is you have the combination of the two cards being fire on the outside and the one card being air on the inside, elements which are quite compatible. Air and fire, if you want to have fire, you better have some bloody oxygen in the air to kind of keep it going. And they both represent the male energy elements, earth and water being the female energy elements. But I don't envy your position. So the original question was that they were close in January. Are they actually going to be getting back together again? You're trying, but there's blockages and the things. And I think it's a little bit more than the distance. Actually, there's more than just distance going on here. Do you agree with that?
No, I would.
You guys aren't on the same page.
No.
I think the main thing here is that I think the whole question of needs, wants, desires, you're getting more and more distant. And again, maybe it's because you haven't been together in quite some time, but what's your communication actually been during that time? Because you couldn't be physically together, what's going on in the fact of how much actual communication has been going on? Because it's almost as if you're looking at different aspects now. I would say something different if these cards were regular, but the things, all of them being inverted, it's just, definitely the energy is there. But the whole point of the inverse 5, the reevaluations, and it's like, okay, if you're going to be able to come back together stronger, you have to iron some of these differences out. Rather than just kind of hoping for the same old, or just like, hey, we'll get back together. Everything's all going to be perfect again. No, it isn't.
No. But I also think that that's just an unrealistic expectation. A lot of people can have it, which I think is just more shows what our society teaches us to put importance on, rather than it actually being important.
Someone else Charlotte Mamshi would like to have a career reading.
Okay.
I think we still have space for another person on there.
Do.
So Sam, that's what we have for you tonight. Do you have any questions on that?
And then we will get to Rose, because it looks like Rose would like to go to bed.
Rose would like to go to bed, so we'll do her. And then Hannah, Brianna, and Valinda, we will definitely get to you, because after all, you were the ones that signed up first. Actually, are all three of them here? I know Valinda is there.
The only one that hasn't sounded off yet is Brianna.
Brianna Jean, our viewer out there, please sign off and let us know that you were here.
Sam, that's about as precise as you're going to get. We are not scientists. This isn't something that we can super accurately predict. This is what psychic work is. It is a web of trying to essentially fit things together.
Well, also the thing is, the question that's being asked is like you're looking for a specific answer, and partially the cards are saying you're asking the wrong question.
Yes. Just because you're not getting the answer that you want doesn't mean you didn't get an answer.
And that's what also happens sometimes, is that sometimes the cards just basically go, you're asking the wrong question. Here's the information that you do have.
Yep.
Because that's what we do. We interpret the information that we are given.
All right. So let's move on to Rose.
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 Did Rose already give her?
Yes,
scroll back in the comments.
Yes, I'm scrolling. 13. We can do either of the dragon decks, and didn't request anyone take point.
Any question, or just
Rose? Do you have a specific question at all? Oh, look, Pandora's here.
Pandora is always here when we do these readings.
That's very true.
Our little black and white kitty. Sup?
Sup, Dan?
Past, present, future.
Okay.
Okay. We'll use your deck. Did she give a number?
13.
13. Ooh, the death card. Bum, bum, bum.
I wish we actually had a kitty cam. If Pandora decides to grace you all with her face,
Yeah.
she'll let you know.
Or she'll jump up on the table. She's done that before.
Dan, Michelle is very enthusiastically sounding off for you in the comments. Also, I miss you too. I just can't add as many exclamation points as she did.
All right, flippity, flippity, flip.
Flippity flip.
And we will get over to...
Flippity dip dip.
Okay, so past, present, future. Past, present, future. We have King of Wands or Aries. We have Queen of Coins or Taurus. And we have the inverted Nine of Cups. So I'm going to flip it around so you can see the whole fish out of water card here, but it was inverted. I did most of the talking on that last one. You want to start with this one?
Well, for a very basic past, present, and future that doesn't have super much of a direction, I'm going to do this thing so I can actually... Look, it's bigger. I just made it bigger for me.
Oh, so you can see it bigger.
Yep.
Ain't you smart?
I am. Thanks. So first we've got the King of Wands. We've got Aries again. This is also, I think, at a point in your past when your energy was very high, or if it wasn't very high, that you had enough of it to spare, enough of it to go around, so that you had enough energy to do all of the things that you wanted to do and still have some left over. So you could get through all of the things that needed to be done, and then you could still get through some self-care, and then you still even had some left over after that. Seeing as how that is in the past, I'm guessing that that's no longer how your energy works. In your present, we have the Queen of Coins. The present is much more earthly focused. It is much more focused on the here and the now and the physical things, the things that our five senses. What is she doing?
Our kitty's playing on the foosball table. She senses something's here.
Yeah, our cat's hunting ghosts or something.
Yeah, she does that. Anyway, please continue.
So yes, we are focusing much more on the earthly plane right now. And you are also the...
Meow, yeah, I hear you.
Queen defending your egg. You know, and the egg is quite obviously a metaphor, but what is it that you are currently focused on looking after, focusing on protecting? What is that part of your life?
Or focus on what you're waiting for.
That too.
Waiting for the sun, waiting for the sun. Jim Morrison.
Okay, good job.
Well,
I don't know as much Jim Morrison as you do.
well, I mean, that's to tell you, I saw that card pop up, and also I heard that going into my head. It's like, oh, she's waiting.
And then we have the Nine of Cups.
Inverted.
Inverted. We are the fish out of water, but not only are you the fish out of water, you're the fish out of water mostly because, at least future standpoint looking in, you're going to be a bit emotionally drained. And I don't know if there's something big that's coming down the pipeline that's just going to take a lot of your emotional battery, and you're going to find it more difficult to recharge. Or if there's, I swear to God, Pandora.
I guess she wants to be heard on this live stream.
Yes. Or if there is something that the earthly present is sort of forewarning of the feeling a bit more emotionally fish out of water in the future. Without a lot of details, I can't say a lot on that to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, I also sense the whole fish out of water thing, the emotional disappointment. these striving for something new, and then when you kind of get there, you feel like you're a bit let down.
I'm just gonna.
Are you let down, Pandora?
Sorry, I've just got to put Hannah's comment on the screen. Earthly plane, meow, recharge, meow. Yeah. Michelle says, "Hi, Pandora. Pandora, would you like to speak to your public, or only when I'm speaking?"
I'm not sure where she went now. Whatever.
Okay. Would you like to add anything to what I've said, or what to Pandora's said?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean the thing, but yes, the thing is, now she's rubbing my feet. Hello, yeah, the whole point of the Queen of Coins, yeah, the idea of the waiting, and you're expecting these great things of the present to unfold, and when they finally do unfold, you're kind of like going, wow, I waited all that for that, and because you find yourself far more alone than you thought you'd be. And yes, it is a bit of an emotional disappointment. It's a bit of a letdown. I mean, you come back, obviously you're not staying up here. You are getting back in the water with everybody else, but you took that chance, and not that things all went screwy or will go screwy things, but things are going to be a little bit, you're hyping yourself up, and you're not going to fail, but you're going to be a bit disappointed. That's what I'm sensing on that.
Yeah, essentially, whatever it is that you're expecting to come out of what you're currently spending a lot of your time and your energy doing is not necessarily going to be the thing that happens. Oh, I'm gonna flip the camera back because we might because also here, Pandora, do you want?
Oh, she's on camera now.
Yes. Hi, Pandora. Do you want to say hello to your adoring public?
Hey, over here, silly. Hi. You're insane.
She is, but we love her anyway.
Oh yes.
So, Rose, if you have anything to add on to that, also if you've fallen asleep, we understand. Oh, I liked it.
Small dragon.
Small dragon.
Well, after all, kitties evolved from dragons.
That is.
So that's what she is.
That is, yes, that is very true.
That's the wives' tale, anyway. The old Irish wives' tale.
Hold on, just for a moment. Hey, Darls. Well, with that attitude, I can't freaking blame them. Honestly.
I missed all that.
I was keeping an eye out because I always do.
Okay.
But anyway, so now that we have dealt with those that have time constraints and whatnot.
So we will go to... Brianna never chimed in, did she?
She has not yet.
So we have Hannah and we have Valinda.
And they have both chimed in.
So Hannah, you are up because you were the first contestant on this version of The Price is Right. And then Valinda will be after that.
And Valinda did give us an update.
Yes, I saw Valinda did give the updated number. So did Hannah ever give us anything?
Waiting. Other people are
waiting. I'm sorry, I'm still doing the door song.
Do I dare pick her up so that we can show people her face?
Good luck. Waiting for the sun.
Hi. Hi. Oh,
no, Brian says he actually has a time constraint. He has therapy at 8:30. Did you grab her?
I tried.
You tried, but she's slinked away. All right, but here's Hannah. So let us do Hannah.
Okay, so then we'll do Hannah and then Brian.
Sorry, Valinda.
And then Valinda. And then we're trying.
I was gonna say you're being very patient, all of you.
Yes. Okay. So 11 and whatever deck.
So you pick the deck. And number 11, and just a general past, present, future. You want to go Swiss 11J?
Let's do that, yes.
Very good.
Yay! Brian and Hannah are together. Woo. Hey, Darls, I advise you to stop commenting, like, now. If you want to be able to watch the rest of the show, that is. If you want me to just block you, then by all means, keep running your mouth.
Are his comments getting increasingly silly?
Not silly, just disgusting.
Well, you know how to block someone if you have to.
I sure do.
We do it all the time with all the trolls that show up here.
And I never give a warning, usually. All
right, let us do Hannah, and then we'll do our partner.
Yay! Okay.
Did we actually meet our partner at Sparta?
To be perfectly honest, my short-term memory is terrible.
We met Hannah, at least as her character, anyway.
But any hoodle.
Anyway, so we have.
That's not how you do Roman numeral 4, but we're going to ignore that.
Well, that's besides the point. Yes. Well, actually, no, that's not 4. That's 8.
No, that's 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. So we have the. Now, okay, this is inverted.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, so we have the inverted 4 of all 3 inverted again.
Actually, no. Sorry, the 4 is right way up.
Okay, so this is right way up. This is your deck, so I'm assuming that you know actually. Okay, so we have the regular facing.
So for the
4 of coins,
the number will always be in the bottom right corner.
And then we have the inverted world or le monde, because after all, this is en le français.
Yes.
And the inverted justice card, number 8, or la justice.
Well, so either of you
Libra. That's
or,
justice.
And
no, the world is there's no tarot with that. It's just Libra. So we have Earth. Yeah, the world. The world, believe it or not, actually does not represent an element. It's the last card in the deck, so to speak, the highest and last of the majors.
I'm also going to throw her comments up. The world again, and justice again. I think Hannah, you might be consistent.
Yes. Well, if she's remembering the cards, that because I read Hannah at Sparta. I honestly, Hannah, I do not remember the cards that you got. So if I gave you the world and justice, yeah.
Then you are consistent. So 4 of coins. Again, coin, suit of the earth, suit of the physical reality. So the physical things that we deal with. 4 being the number of initial completion. So this is the way you build a house. You pour the foundation before you can build anything on top. 4 is saying, your foundation's done. Time to move on to the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, excuse me. Had a hiccup. So for your past, there's an earthly phase that you were done and complete with, and now it was time to move on to the next thing.
Not to mention the whole symmetry thing here. This deck is known for its symmetry or lack thereof.
Yes.
If you look at that picture right there, it looks like it's beautiful symmetrical. And then you look a little closer, and this deck does this. It's like a little trick, because after all, people love symmetry. Nature actually also has a tendency of loving symmetry, and the question is that how close are you? A lot of these cards, if they're black and white, would show actual perfect symmetry, but when the colors come in, it kind of messes that up. This is one actually where the colors actually don't really matter. The colors actually look very symmetrical. But this card, the design is actually not symmetrical.
No.
The big designs, yes, they are. But you look a little more closely, and you have these little errant strands of twigs, like here, doesn't match this one, which doesn't match this, and doesn't match that. You also have these leaves, which are they're a little bit weird here. They don't match over here. So there's a little subtleties in this whole past aspect. In the fact of it just represents the imperfections of the past. Especially, things are coming to an end because, essentially you took this as far as you could go. You perfected it as far as you could go. And it never was perfect. And it never will be, by the way.
I agree with that. Moving into your center, present, the world, you carry too much. I'm going to take his giggling that you probably covered at least something slightly similar when he was doing your reading back at Sparta. But yeah, you have the world on your shoulders, and you're not the one that put it there. other people put it there. And something that I've been telling a lot of people that have been getting the world with me recently is it's okay to give other people their stuff back. You have to keep your stuff, obviously. You can't give that to other people. But for anyone that gave you their stuff, it's absolutely okay to give it back. And
yeah, because look at all the various animals that here. You have the bull, possibly Taurus. You have the lion, possibly Leo. You have all the birds up here of miscellaneous types there. And then there's you in the middle, standing on that wreath that you're trying to support yourself with all this cacophony around you. Inverted on top of that.
Uh-huh.
Busy, busy, busy.
And I mean, if just what we see you do at Sparta is anything to go off of, you do a lot. You have very busy days. And moving forward into justice, I like that as a forward-looking omen, especially when the world is your present. Because justice is all about trying to actually strike that balance, meaning that you are finally going to be understanding the difference between, what is actually important and what is not important, what are needs and what are wants, and what are things that absolutely need to get done, and what are things that, it's okay to let people down occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with that. That is definitely a thing I struggle with. I feel terrible every time I think I feel like I'm letting somebody down. But I'm also learning that I can't do as much as the people that put all of their stuff on my shoulders, that handed me their world. I can't do what the rest of them expect me to be able to.
And Hannah, especially because you say you have no Libra in your chart. I am a Libra. And so I get the whole point of you feel you're supposed to be responsible. You're trying to smooth everything over. You're trying to maintain the scales of balance and all that. And you wind up making it great for everybody else. And in the process, you wind up not getting anything for yourself. And I'll grant you, I mean, there are times where you are happy to self-sacrifice and, do it for the greater good and all of that. But beyond a certain point, it's okay to be a little selfish now and then.
Ding, ding, ding. I like that. Flipping back over to us.
Absolutely.
If you have any other questions, any comments, let us know. Brian, let's get to you since you have an 8:30 time constraint.
Yes.
Just give us your info in the chat, which reader you would like, which deck, and a number between 1 and 78.
And then, yes, Belinda, thank you again for being patient. You will go after Brian.
Hannah, we think you're amazing.
We are all amazing.
I'm honestly amazed that you can do as many laps around that fair as you do.
Oh, I know. I did quite a few laps myself, and the thing is, but that took a bit for me.
I did exactly one loop.
One loop. It took me a while to do one loop. I mean, there's a lot of paths to cover.
Yes. We highly recommend the Sparta, New Jersey Renaissance Fair, by the way.
Okay, so Brian says Thor tells him 53. Okay, did Thor tell you which person and which deck? Come on, dude.
Would like to know where my money future lies. And a dragon deck. Okay, we got the dragon deck.
Oh, okay. He did that earlier. Okay, I didn't see that comment.
So let's.
My bad.
So we can tag team that one.
Okay, so we haven't used my dragons, so we use my dragons.
Pick a dragon deck.
53. All right, let me do.
Oh, and Michelle is also endorsing the Sparta Ren Fair. Michelle was also there. It's a lovely fair, y'all. It's just very picturesque, and I like that it never is going to be too crazy sunny because it's in the woods. Into the woods. Into the woods.
Okay, so he wants to know about his money, his future. Oh,
money.
Oh, you're gonna laugh when you see what's coming up right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That is quite hilarious. That's quite funny.
Hey, we're gonna blame Brian. He picked the bloody number.
Hold on, I'm gonna just put this up here real quick. See, Michelle's just really helping us tell you all how great Sparta is.
Oh yes. Well, let's see. You had all those fairies, and then you had a dragon running around in those woods. What more could you have?
Who was the dragon, I wonder?
Gee, I wonder who that was. And who was the fairy?
Who was at least one of the fairies?
Yes. Who are we talking about here? Who knows, right?
All right. So I will flip to the cards.
Flip it over. Okay.
You both are super consistent.
Yeah,
apparently.
consistent because we have yet another Libra card, the King of Swords. No, it's not Justice, but it's the King of Swords. Because in tarot, you have one suit card and one of the majors for each of the signs. And actually, all three of them are signs. And maybe one of the two of you will make sense with these other ones. Second one here, Queen of Wands, is Leo. And the inverted one is Death or Scorpio. So we have air, fire, water. And what I find interesting, Brian, is that you asked about a money question. Money has a tendency of showing up in the element of earth. You didn't get an earth card.
No, I find that quite... This has been the pattern I've noticed for myself this year.
So, Hannah, Brian, either one of you have any chart in you about either Leo or Scorpio? While we are waiting for the answer, because after all, we have the delay here going on here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and especially talk about the whole kind of like past, present, future. Where's the money coming from? Oh, hey, medium. Troll.
Oh, Lord.
So Hannah's a Leo ascendant.
All right.
Queen P medium. What a silly name for a troll. Anyway, so the King of Swords. Forget Libra for a minute. Let's just basically say that, dude, you have just been trying to do way too much. What we have here is the attempted formation of dragons migrating, quote, south for the winter in that little V formation, as birds do when they migrate south. And the whole idea is that the one at the top is getting all the, is doing the bulk of the work because he's getting all the wind resistance. But he's creating dead zones behind him when he flaps his wings, which makes it easier for the birds behind him. And then they create more dead zones. So the further back you go, the easier it is to fly, which is why birds at the back are the ones that are squawking when you hear them, because they're squawking to the ones in the front going, hey, get going, keep it going, keep it going. And then finally, when the ones at the top tire, they get tired out, they drop to the back and everyone moves up. So the birds actually all share the locations on the V. But here we have you, head of the formation, who has decided to take it all on yourself, and you're flying so far in front of your fellow dragons here, here, and here, the whole V pattern is just completely falling apart. You're doing too much. You can't do it all. And you're taking the brunt of it, too. You're doing all the work. I suppose you can say, you're getting all the rewards, too. But it's also kind of like, what good is that? Are you actually getting what you want? Queen of Wands, the second card, the Leo card.
It's me again.
Yeah, it's you again. Do you want to talk about your card again? Because after all, I've been talking about my card a lot too, because it's Leo and Aries have just been popping up so much here.
Well, I mean, I really only ever talk about my card in reference to talking about the other two fire sign cards, because I feel that all signs across the entire zodiac, they all very much reflect different things. And when I talk about the fire signs, the metaphor I use, so Aries, we have just the absolute uncontrolled forest fire. We're just uncontrolled and we are not life-giving. We are harmful at that point. We are more of the controlled bonfire. We're the controlled burn. we could get out of hand, but typically we don't. We are the controlled burn. And then I view Sagittarius more as like the comforting coals of the campfire, so to speak. And I feel like every other sign also has, you know, their various metaphors to describe themselves. But that's typically how I talk about the fire signs. So for Leo, it's that controlled burn. Your present right now seems to be talking about that controlled burn, which, hey, if we're talking about, you know, the financial money aspect of stuff, sometimes that can be viewed as things like spending money to make money or making a decision, especially if it's a career decision that other people might be going, oh no, what are you doing? That's not a safe choice. Might not be a safe choice for them, but it could be a safe choice for you.
Well, also the fact that let's face it, if you're going to have a fire, you have to have multiple components. The fire has a triangle. You have to have a source of ignition. You have to have oxygen. You have to have fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the whole King of Swords card where he's trying to do it all himself. At least with this one, he's actually realizing that he can't do it all himself now.
Especially if you want to be the controlled bonfire and not become the forest fire.
Right. So basically controlling the amount of actual fuel which is being fed to this fire to keep it going. Just enough. Not too much, not too little.
Right.
This is just right.
We're Goldilocks, apparently.
Apparently, yes. By the way, did you see what the kitty has done now?
So for those of you wondering, Pandora has curled up and is asleep behind us now.
Yes. But that's another thing she has done before. She gets very comfortable with this, and she feels the energy, and now it's said that
she's
a safe space to sleep.
Yep, she's just really into just being here with us right now.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the finale card, Death, bum, 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 or Scorpio, which inverted. So let's face it, death typically does not refer to an actual physical death.
No.
Because the reality is that because we're all going to die one day, so why have a card that basically acknowledges that? Because it's like, no kidding.
And from the perspective of a financial reading, I actually think that this is a very positive omen for your future.
Big go.
Because I don't know if you can see it as well as we can, but Death has a little scythe here in his grip. And so is ready to use that when it is harvest time.
Mm-hmm.
This is saying that harvest time is coming.
And the idea is that it's inverted, because remember, this was the card that was upside down. It's inverted because it's going to be kind of a surprise. You know, as opposed to the harvest time where you look at the garden, you watch it grow, and then you basically know what you're going to harvest when the time comes. This is a little different because you're changing the way you're going to be doing things, and therefore your financial dividends are actually going to be a bit more than you expect. And be like, going, wow, okay, didn't see that one coming.
We like that for you.
Yeah. So enjoy the surprise. End of the phase.
Which is a good end of that phase, I think.
Indeed.
So if you have any questions or further comments, feel free to let us know. And let me just scroll back up to see Valinda.
Yes, Valinda, you are up now, and then we have to go back and find your comments way at the beginning of the stream.
It's okay. I remember 39.
As opposed to 179?
As opposed to 179, yes.
Brian says he's getting a cert to read runes, so maybe it's that.
Lord Fafnir and the Dragon deck.
Okay.
39.
Any specific question, Valinda? I'm gonna count out 39 while we're waiting for a response.
When you say getting a cert to read runes,
Certificate?
I know. I just mean more like just let us know what getting that's been like. I'm always curious about other people's journeys.
Yeah,
and
because
the similarities and
I mean, the idea
differences
is,
with my
I
own.
presume getting a certificate means he's like completing some class. That's
Yes, I'm also assuming that that's what it means
Yes.
as well. I have a curiosity.
as opposed to just being self-taught. Where you
Right.
just,
Like us.
Exactly. That's like we teach this stuff, but I've learned, I've mentored with some individual people that be very nice, but the thing is, I've actually never done an official quote class.
No,
Or-
just the
or-
just
or an
the
of-
online
or an
ones.
official course.
Oh, course. I was going to say you've done classes.
Well, I've taught them.
Valinda would also like future/money.
39, right?
Yes. Oh, so far it's the history of them and where they come from. See, and that's cool. See, learning the history of the tools we use is a part that I feel like a lot of people more kind of gloss over. So I like that they're making sure to cover that bit. Are we ready for Valinda?
I pull up the cards and hey, we have some different ones this time.
Woo!
No Libra, no Leo.
Well, now that we're apparently taking the very consistent couple off the table.
I suppose so. Yes.
All right. Are you good for me to switch over?
Go for it. Switch it. And
All
so
right.
she wants to have a past, present, future of money and other things in general.
Yes, with you taking point.
Okay. So we have two inverted cards here and here. We have the inverted Page of Swords, which doubles for the sign of Gemini. People are really into astrology tonight. At least the
Yes.
cards are, I should say. We have the Three of Wands for fire. So we have air, we have fire. And here we have the inverted Hermit, which also doubles as Virgo for earth. So three different elements. And at least here we actually get an earth element, which actually is more attuned to the whole money aspect things. So we like that as well. So future and money. Let's just look at your past card for a minute here, the Page of Swords. Unless Gemini actually is something which is in your chart, which I don't know yet. Do we have spots left, by the way? Jody is that she would like a spot here.
Here, you focus on this. I'll count.
You look at that.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn this around because I want you to see the picture. It's inverted. Same thing with the Hermit card. You see here the free flying dragon. Yeah, that's a good tongue twister. Try to say that 5 times. So the idea of the dragon basically flying through the trees, flying so fast he's actually ripping the leaves off. Little collateral damage here. But this dragon doesn't care. This dragon is just having fun because essentially it's like you've got this whole. Oh, she's meowing again.
Do you need help?
You've got this. Oh, does she want her food?
Yeah. Hang on.
Open the door so she
got
can get in. Okay. Sorry, kitty detail here for quick here. So Page of Swords. This is the whole, again, the free flying dragon. Like a weight has been lifted off of you. And you just have basically went, okay, I'm free. I'm flying. Yeah, it's a metaphor, but the thing is, it's like you've just got this massive weight left off of you. And now you can breathe again. Nice feeling to have, actually. Because the second card here, the Three of Wands, 3 is the number of emotion and love. And the thing is, in fire, hearts like to burn with passion. I know you asked about money right now. We'll get to that. But this really is something more, you're having like an emotional, almost like one said, like an emotional renaissance, in that you're able to, like with the blockage having been removed here, which was kind of a surprise, by the way. Now with the Three of Wands, it's like, okay, I can actually start living again and let my own passions burn again. Be careful what you wish for, though, because sometimes you go, especially when you go from extremes, the pendulum was one way where you were all blocked and trapped. Now you're totally free, and all of a sudden now your fire has gone a little bit out of control. You got the 3 lit wands here, and you will this extra fire down here. So it's like, okay, so now you're burning so bright. Maybe the burning's a little too bright. Meow. Yes, we hear you. I think everybody who's watching this stream now has heard you now meow too. So be careful how you burn. It is said that the candle that burns twice as bright lasts half as long. And I don't think you want to burn out. And especially if we're going real emotional here, even though this is not a water sign, you have no water cards here, but hearts like to burn with passion. Make sure that you actually don't, quote, get heartburn. I know it's a bad pun, but the thing is, but you can burn your heart. And then we have the Hermit, inverted Hermit. And this is where the money aspect comes in, partially, because this also now is the calming presence of this. If you do wind up going a bit gangbusters, the Hermit basically says, okay, time to cool off, time to calm down, time to rest and recharge my cells before I go back. I've left the church behind, but I still carry the church's protection with me as I sit here on this rock with my little light here. And I'm just going to sit here and soak up all the rays of the sun and the energy and wait for the light to start gleaming again and feel that my strength returns to myself. And when it does, I get to go back. This was inverted, though, because this is one of those things that were, again...
Because a rock feels no pain.
A rock. I am
and
a rock.
And an island never cries.
Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Simon and Garfunkel, for that.
You're welcome.
That nice trip down memory lane. I'm not going to tell you how old that song is.
You don't have to. I was raised by you.
Anyway, one of the points of the Hermit is the fact is that when you start doing that, you go away, you rest, recharge. The longer that you're away, the harder it is to return sometimes, because you get kind of comfortable where you are.
Yes.
In which case, you almost are going full circle back to here. Where in this type, the blockage is not caused by other things. It's you that's basically stopping yourself from moving on.
Excuse me. Sorry.
And the money aspect essentially kind of says the money's going to flow as you flow, because the whole idea is the fact that the energy ebbs and flows. The blockage here being gone, fantastic. Now, in your present, you can actually now set the foundations for what you're trying to accomplish money-wise. And you will reap what you will sow. I guess just be careful as you get additional finances that you don't wind up just spending all of it, in your zeal for fun, entertainment, etc., the burning, etc. But here, this more of that, it's like this being Virgo again, clamping down. Because again, of the three earth signs, Virgo is the third. And this group represents that more. I mean, it's said in a stereotype is that Virgo is the most boring of the 12 signs. And I suppose there's something to that. I guess other Virgos that are out there might totally disagree, but that is one of the stereotypes, that the Virgo is the most boring sign. You're dull. But no, also represents the ultimate...
I personally have found that to be completely incorrect just based off of the readings I do. Readings for Virgos are some of the most dramatic readings that I do.
When it comes to certain things, they are, the sign basically says that they're very, very conservative. They like to take baby steps, not big steps. And that's what stereotype comes from about why they're boring, because they have a tendency of not really risking anything.
Yeah, I have never met a boring Virgo. I have yet to meet a Virgo I would classify as boring. Shall I switch back?
Yeah. So that's what we got for you.
And to just answer some of the questions and the comments right now, Jody, you are going to be our last person on the list for tonight. Rachel, we can put you on the waiting list if somebody who is on our list tonight does not show up for their appointed time.
Like Brianna, perhaps?
Perhaps. We can absolutely do a reading for you, but if not, you will have to either book privately with us or just wait for our next live stream in a month.
Actually, not even, because we typically try to do it in the middle of the month. We were late this month.
Well, I will say, that y'all please give us some grace during this time of the year. He's about to go into Salem full time. I'm finishing out, except for this weekend. Tawny and Amanda are taking point for us this weekend at the Connecticut Renaissance Fair, which I super appreciate that Tawny and Amanda are both lovely people who are willing to work around my disabilities.
Yes. So yes, you're taking along with Amanda and Tawny. We are closing out the Connecticut Renaissance Fair in Lebanon, Connecticut, which has 3 more weekends to go, and then I'm about to start 5 consecutive weekends starting tomorrow in Salem, Mass, where I will be at the Omen, one of the premier witch stores in Salem.
Oh, also, Michelle would like you to keep talking about that for just a moment.
Oh,
Bruce, speaking of Salem, where can we book readings with the Omen?
You can actually do it off of the Omen's website, which I'm not sure exactly what it is, other than I think it's just omen.com or omen.org. All of the various readers will pop up because I know they've set it up because I've already gotten some bookings already. For those who actually want to go to Salem, I highly, highly recommend that you
Book in advance.
Typically, us readers, and I'll grant you, there's a bunch of us readers. What?
Michelle says, I was just on the website, but you are not listed.
Well,
they better fix that.
I was going to say I must be because I've already gotten some bookings, some advanced bookings. So somehow,
isn't that a fun confusion?
Somehow someone got a hold of my name. Now, it also may be because that
Pandora,
because we're starting tomorrow, and the site may only look at the people who actually are on there today.
Here,
so,
sorry, but I gotta go.
Go ahead.
She's gonna knock.
Can't talk right now. One can also just call the Omen store in Salem, get the phone number off the website, and just call them and then book an appointment. But yeah, us readers, we get most of our stuff. We're booked pretty solid. Now, me personally, I'd say probably about half of my slots are pre-booked. The other half are just walk-ins. But walk-ins, again, it's first come, first serve. So I would say if you really are planning a day of it.
Valerie, have we completely missed each other? Sorry.
Oh, could be.
And then she says Shalimar is listed.
Shalimar's a full-time employee there, so that's not that surprising.
That is true.
So,
Belinda, I won't be there this weekend, but I will be there the final 2. So let's hook up sometime to just chat in person. I would love to chat with you.
Absolutely.
All right.
I missed her too for the weekends I was there.
But yes, hey, Tawny, if you're still there, sound off. If not, it's totally fine. But Tawny was in the comments a little bit earlier. Here she was. So,
I like that.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, okay.
H-A-I.
Oh, I also was thought. Oh, it was H-A.
But yes, if you are coming and looking to the Connecticut Renaissance Fair, Jesus, this weekend, and you are looking to have Fafnir and Spawn readings done, the Fafnir and Spawn tent is there. Tawny will be one of the people there. I'm not sure if she's going to be Fafnir or Spawn, but she can be whichever one she wants. And then the other one is Amanda Mickelhaney, who she is also just a super excellent, wonderful person. We have left y'all in very capable hands.
And apparently, I guess Michelle found the thing. It says
found them. Sorry, have to click on basic reading and then select the reader. Got it. Okay. Thank you for doing all of this so that everybody else can be less confused.
I was going to say the website, it can be a bit confusing. I understand that. It's also because they have people that are on duty and therefore people who are part-timers like me, so to speak. Or actually, I'm more like a contracted person.
October's you're only like full time.
Yeah, I'm not an official employee, but yeah, down there I'm on their system. Because it's funny because I also do throughout the year, I do phone readings through them, but that's through a different site. That's through because the parent company owns 2 stores. One's called Hex and one's called Omen. And Hex is the one that actually is the system that you go on to actually get the phone readings and the FaceTime readings and Zoom readings from. So yeah, I mean, it's talk about overcomplicating the system, but I don't run the stores.
A little bit.
Anyway, now that we've done a little spent time doing commercial stuff, let's move on.
Sorry, I'm having to scroll way back up in the comments to
Annie's up, right?
Annie is up. So Annie, if you haven't given us the info for the things you would like,
so it's
please let us know.
And then Annie, you are up right now, and after that is Liz.
And Liz did already give us her thing, that's actually what I'm trying to go and find.
Okay.
Just so that I know. Because I do appreciate those who...
So Annie wants Dark Shadows number 13. Did you have a question? General.
Cool, we can do that.
So she wants to, as opposed to Colonel or Captain or Major.
Aren't you funny?
She wants General.
Aren't you funny?
I am.
There we go. And I found Liz's. Yay. I am on top of it.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, Dan.
He's off.
I'll see you in November.
What's in November that you're seeing him at?
Steampunk
thing. Oh,
yeah, that.
I forgot. Well, that's right, because you're going.
Doy.
You are going.
Doy.
And I'm not going.
Doy. But you're the one that's doing all the paperwork.
Which I haven't done yet, by the way.
Either way, I don't have to worry about it.
Has Matt done his?
Oh, that's a question, isn't it?
Find out. I don't want to have you being stuck going there by yourself, by your little lonesome. All right.
Flippy dip.
Oh, let me put your deck over here. Whenever you are ready, go ahead and flip it.
There we go.
So we have
the Three of Cups.
We have the Three of Cups. We have the Ace of Coins, not inverted. And we have the Two of Cups. This is interesting. The manufacturers
Yes, they have that on several of the cards. That's the one part of the art design that upsets me.
So 2 of water, 2 of them are water, 3 and a 2, and then we have the 1 of coins mill. So we have 3, 1, 2, as opposed to 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3. However, it's nice to actually see a thing where none of the cards are inverted. They're all regular facing. And as we check, as I do anyway, because I'm a geek when it comes to this crap, the whole symmetrical aspect here. Are we symmetrical? Well, let's see. This one, not even close. We're not even trying to be symmetrical on that one. This one, you look at this one, you kind of go, okay, so there's a basic attempt. It looks kind of like it, and then you look a little closer, you kind of go, oh, we're back to this again.
Well, I also...
The minutia is different.
Well, I also think I might understand some of the specifics of that just because I know Annie on a more personal level than you do.
Mm-hmm.
But Annie needs hand surgery. And Annie's been having a tough time being able to get the care that she needs. And that to me is that card to me right now is sort of screaming kind of a reflection of that. If you think I'm off, let me know, but that's what I'm seeing. What with my own background knowledge.
Well, I mean, like I said, but the only thing that's symmetrical here is the various cups and the numbers.
No, I was talking more this one present there.
The present one here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got if this was black and white, this wouldn't even be symmetrical,
right? Because
the colors are a little bit off. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but then all the teeny little squiggles, they're all way off. So you have a basic attempt, and so I'd say you're only about 85% symmetrical and 15% disarray,
right? Which if it's a case of more health stuff, I can completely understand it. You're trying to make it happen, but the system doesn't work for you.
And of course, I mean, generally speaking, the Ace of Coins, just its overall basic aspect is you're trying to do something new and still stay on the ground. Remember, in the dragon cards, that's the whole point of the dragon, coming out of the cave, or is he going back into the cave? You're not, depending upon which way you're looking at it, you're not quite sure.
Right. Exactly.
Progress is being made. Well, let's just say it's
slowly.
I don't want to say 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but it's like rather than taking a full step, you're taking more like about 3/4 of a step.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
As long as it's not the whole thing of the distance between you and the door, and every step you take, you take half the distance between you and the door. How many steps will it take you to reach the door if that happens? It's a math problem.
That's a very good point. You have a good point.
Because you know what the answer is, right?
You won't make progress.
Well, the thing is, if you'll make some progress, but it becomes an asymptote. The thing is, if every step you take is half the distance between you and the door, you never get there.
Exactly.
You do great progress for the first, but you get the first 90% done really, really fast, and then you never, ever, ever get that last 10%.
I don't know if y'all can hear her, but Pandora is
She's
meowing
howling
a lot
upstairs
and very loudly.
She's howling upstairs. And then we have the 2 of Cups at the very, very end.
Which it seems that that's almost like you're at least getting a brief emotional respite, if nothing else.
Yes. And because, again, from the symmetry point of view, is that you have very similar situation to this one in the fact of the colors are a little bit off. The basics are there, but the color is a little bit off in the side leaves here, and the little squiggles are close, but not quite. But the idea is that for this one, unlike here, this one is supposed to be like, this is a painting. This is supposed to be completely correct. It's not. This one's kind of a, you don't care. You recognize that there's still some minor flaws in here, and you really just don't care because you've got what you need, which is the 2 chalices there, each having their own various symbols and metaphors in there, but they also contain enough liquid in there for you to make sure that you are properly hydrated. Exactly. Hail hydrate.
So it is one of those things where the way that I kind of am thinking of this, you're not going to very well see the progress that you've made if you only keep looking in front of you. You're only going to be like, oh gosh, I have so much longer to go. Turn around and look behind you. You will then see how far you in fact have come.
And there we have it.
I shall flip us back.
Flip it back. Let me put these back in the deck there. So, Annie, unless you have some other questions, we are going to move on to Liz.
And I have...
And did Liz already gave her stuff?
Liz, just give us a number. Just give us a number there. She just wants a past, present, general, but she didn't give us a number. Please to give us a number, and then while we're waiting for Liz to do that...
Oh, what's the deck, by the way?
She was letting us choose, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But yes, so until we hear from Liz...
Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. 15, says Liz.
15.
Excellent. So
we're gonna go basic dragons on this one.
And I'm also just going to briefly take attendance. So Brianna, Jean... Melissa, Charlotte, and Jody, just sound off that you are still here in the chat or are arriving in the chat for the first time so that we know that you are here.
Yes, because after all, we are 6 down. Liz being number 7, we have only 3 to go.
Exactly.
After this.
So Please sound off in the comments.
Rachel says she's from Dublin.
She is, yes. She's been asking for a reading, but unfortunately, I told her that we may not be able to guarantee her a spot tonight if somebody doesn't show up for their spot.
Correct.
But Jody is here. Excellent. Thank you, Jody.
I think Brianna's a no-show.
It's seeming to be that way. But also, let's see if Melissa and Charlotte are still here. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
All right.
You may flip whenever.
Flip.
All right. So we have...
Oh, the Nine of Swords.
The Nine of Swords, the inverted devil, and the inverted page of coins. So we're back to having more and more astrology symbols here. The devil referring to Capricorn, and the page of coins being the other card for Virgo. We've had now Virgo showing up a few times tonight too.
Liz, did you tell us what your sign actually is in the comments? Let us know, because that's always a curious part. But you just wanted a general past, present, future. And Liz, I think you and I definitely have some more getting to know each other to do. But I do think that we've gotten to know each other a little bit. For those of you that are curious, Liz, I do. She has a Libra October birthday. But Liz, I do tell people. I just give them a heads up when we know each other outside of things like this. Liz and I met in a support group for the disability that we share.
Okay.
So, you're a lovely human being. I've been enjoying getting to know you. So let's look here. The Nine of Swords.
So are you taking point on this one?
I shall.
Okay. So let me turn these around, because again, these two are inverted, so you all can see the pictures of the devil and the page of coins.
The Nine of Swords. You sure have had sort of a lot of the same obstructions to your life that I have had. There is a door placed before you, but it's not a friendly door, shall we say. It's definitely a door that takes a lot of hard work to go through, and so the question in the past seems to be, were you appearing to go through the doorway, or were you disappearing, not ready to go through the doorway yet? And I always tell people, I don't judge either response. Because the point is, was this something you were ready for at that given time? And it seems that this was the time that you were finally ready to go through the doorway. In the present, we've got some other more difficult things to work with. The devil shows up when it's time to clean house. So whether it's physical things, toxic people, toxic memories, things that are no longer serving you to grow, that's when the devil shows up, being like, all right, let me help you remove these things from your life that are no longer helping your growth, that are stagnating your growth. And then once I remove these, we will make room for you to grow again. And looking into your future there seems to be a bit of the way. I don't know. Here, Father, could I use your finger as a pointer there?
Yes.
I don't know if y'all can see very well, but the dragon has a third eye there. I always talk about looking at things from a different perspective. The dragon is not using his normal two eyes to look down. The dragon has a third eye.
Mm-hmm.
The volcano in the background has exploded and is overflowing magma. And so the dragon has essentially flown from the volcano, which had been its home, and is flying through the forest. And these things down here, those are all eggshells. Essentially, the dragon telling the creatures of the forest to run. It seems that this is sort of talking a little bit, at least, about your advocacy journey. Of all of the things that you learned harshly that you would rather people in future generations didn't have to learn the way you did.
Yeah, the metaphor of this one being is that, this card sometimes refers to just sheer fear and panic. The idea being when the volcano explodes, you obviously, you've got that whole survival instinct. But rather than just saving yourself, you go into the forest first, knowing that the forest is going to get wiped out. And therefore, you try to basically save as many lives as you can and yourself at the same time. So it's a little bit of delay. You have some of the greater good. And then the eggshell is basically saying that you actually had some success of saving lives. You were able to get some of the creatures out of the forest before the volcano killed everything there.
Exactly.
Knowing again that you can't save everything.
And so, well, again, I'm not going to, talk about extreme details or anything, but just based off of how we know each other, I feel like this is your journey specifically with how you have come to your advocacy. I'm an advocate too, but I've also noticed that you and I, we do our advocacy very differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. We just both communicate differently. We have preferred different styles of communication. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just, definitely be on the lookout for these on your horizon, which I already know you are.
Yeah, even Mount Vesuvius had a lot of warning before it finally blew.
Yes, yes.
So, Billy Joe, we've been seeing your comments, and yes, we have you on the wait list for reading it if there is space available.
If there is space available, but we do just want to give you a heads up, like we did give Jody heads up. There might not be room for her if others claim their space, but there have been a couple of people that it doesn't look like they've actually showed tonight, so we'll see.
So we might actually get into we probably will be getting at least partially into our wait list.
Oh, here's Liz has a question, and this is more numerology for you there, Dad. What is the spiritual meaning of the number 7? It has come up constantly, as has 1111. Also, I was 7 in line tonight, hence the question.
7. You've heard of lucky number 7, I presume.
Here, sit back a little bit so they can get your whole head. There you go.
My whole head, huh?
Your whole head.
And nothing but the head.
Well, it was more like half your head before.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we have weird camera things tonight. So, anywho, yes, you've heard of lucky number 7. Well, in numerology speak, 7 is not so much a lucky number as is a number of resolution. The idea of things are coming to an end. Because that's what you think about it. Luck. Well, luck doesn't mean necessarily good luck. It could be bad luck. And the same thing with resolution. It's like the old proverb or a variation of Murphy's Golden Law or Murphy's Golden
Law.
Rule. Murphy's Law. Whoever has, Murphy's Golden Rule. Whoever has the gold makes the rules. That's along with the anything that can go wrong will. There's also one of the corollaries of the headlamp. I'm sorry, the light at the end of the tunnel may in fact be the headlamp of the oncoming train.
That's true.
Well, so the whole thing is that say you're in a tunnel and you see the light at the end. Well, one of two things. It's either the way out, which case, hey, great. Or it's the headlamp of the oncoming train. Oh, crap. But either way, it's a resolution. Or if you want to have another silly metaphor, think about like one of those TV shows, those court case TV shows. The judge brings the hammer down the gavel. Case dismissed. Okay, you won. Yay, let's celebrate. You lost. Oh, crap. Go lick your wounds.
Right.
But either way, it's, guess what? The case is over, which means no more court appearances, no more lawyer bills. Now you can move on and move past. That's what 7's about. 7's the resolution. It's time to resolve things and, take your victories or your defeats, wrap them up, package them, etc., and move on. And the whole point of 1111, 1 typically being referring to the whole idea of new beginning anyway. 11 and 11, you have a pair of master numbers, that being the master teacher or the trifecta, 1, that's 3 times it. But 4 times 1, 4 is always referring to ending of a phase.
One of your subordinates is giving you crap.
How many metaphors can we come up for the resolution being a double-edged sword?
Now, Jesse, is that any
Yeah.
way to speak to your boss?
He's still watching the show, though.
And we love you for that. And oh, excuse me. So then we've got Melissa, and then we've got Jody, and we will then see who our final for the night shall be.
Okay, so Melissa's up now?
Yes.
Oh, let me get rid of these cards.
Melissa would like a general number 48 and whatever deck we decide.
Well, we just pulled my dragon deck, so you pick the next one. What do you want to do?
Give Melissa your sex deck. That's always amusing to me.
She always likes the sex deck.
I know, and it's amusing to me.
And a general reading from the sex deck to boot. Right?
Yeah.
She had no question.
Oh, hey, everyone, look, Sound Guy is finally tuned in.
Hey, he got off work.
Hey, he probably hasn't. Are you still at work?
Annie says hi or typed hi. What's number 48, by the way?
48, yes. Yes, darling, we're having many issues.
What's he saying we're having issues with?
Our voices sound slow and deep. Maybe that's just because we're tired.
Slow.
I love you too, Jesse.
And deep. Really, that was the thing. Our voices sound slow and deep.
That's what he said.
Maybe he's the one who's slow and deep.
Oh, nope, it was an issue with the feed, he says. So see, apparently we don't need your help. Yes, we do. Please. Oh, God. Jesse thinks our voices sound normal, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I mean, considering the picture he has there for his little icon.
It's gorgeous. Look, he's gorgeous. Stunning.
Sure.
Stunning. All right, are we good? Flippy dip.
Flipping it.
There you go, Melissa.
3 sex cards. 2 of them inverted. Gee, go shocking. We have the inverted 9 of Pentacles. We have Aries again, the Emperor, number 4, and the inverted Empress. So we have the Emperor and the Empress back to back.
Very nice.
But the only one that is regular is Emperor. Matt says it has been a day. No kidding. Every day is a day.
Any Aries?
Until it's night.
So since we're talking about Emperor, any Aries?
I forget what Melissa signs us. That's right. That's the only astrology sign in this one. All righty.
Hannah says the art in this deck is really quite beautiful. It is. I really like this deck.
I do too. All right. Let's get talking here. So we have Earth, we have Fire, and we have, well, nothing, because the Empress actually does not refer to a specific element. It's just out there. But we have the whole point of male energy and female energy. And who is more in charge? Well, that starting point is right here. So Melissa's an Aquarius. So we're not quite sure where this comes from. Because after all, like I said before, this deck is drawn, heterosexual, but again, it's all about male and female energy. So Melissa could be the guy here and the guy here and the girl over here, or none of the above.
Aquarius.
Exactly. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius.
All right, Melissa, with no specific question in here, I'm just looking at these pictures here, especially with the fact of 9 is for transition, 4 is for ending of the phase, and 3 is more about your emotional aspect of it. Let's just basically say is that, yes, in this card, you in fact are the poor lady who is having a lock of her hair cut by this rather interesting person here. So you have not been in control. You have been under the thumb of somebody else who has taken rather extreme pleasure in making sure that you can't
Are aware
get
that
up.
they control you.
And exactly, are very aware of that. And it's just kind of like, you allowed it, I suppose, but you didn't like it. You didn't really put up a fight. And of course, what happens, especially when you're dealing with someone who is more of a bully aspect, is that, you give the bully an inch and they'll take a mile.
Uh-huh.
And so it's not until you actually pull out some good old-fashioned male energy to kind of like stop that shit, because that's an issue of what it is. Now, I'll grant you,
Sorry.
That's okay. This emperor is not your stereotypical narcissistic male energy emperor, because plenty of emperors in tarot cards really refers to the whole concept of Aries and that, yes, strong leader, but also strong narcissist.
Yeah, no, it seems the more stereotypical picture should have been the one to the left.
Yeah. So this king here is just kind of like casually sitting on his throne, has a little plate of food by his feet, and he's just kind of like hanging out, but acknowledging that, yeah, you know what, dude, my throne, I got this. I don't need to be rude about it or obnoxious about it, but the thing is, but I'm still sitting here and you're not.
So what you're saying is that is not Henry VIII.
That is not Henry VIII, no. This king can do great.
Without being
do great
told
things
about how great he is?
Without being told how great he is. The whole point is that this one really exudes the self-confidence without the arrogance, which is a nice thing to have here. Because that's essentially what you have to do if you haven't already done it, is the fact is that the only way of really kind of getting out from under this is to kind of say, you know what, thank you for all this, but no thanks. And rather than just actually violently throwing this person off of you, it's like, no, I'm just going to assert myself in the position I'm going to be. I'm like going, no, I got it, my throne. Oh, you want to take another lock in my hair? No thanks. Been there, done that, bought that t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
Now it's time to burn it.
Good for you for not letting anyone walk over you in that way any longer.
And let's just say that this person is not so easily chased away. So presenting this air is actually a good thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this person's not going to try. So we have to step up a little bit. After all, strong male energy combined with the strong female. And remember that this is the Empress, who actually is looking far more open, because after all, there she is exposing all of her boobies to the air, You
got to air those puppies out.
Exactly. With her spear, with her shield, and more importantly, with her rather large snake behind her, protecting her, kind of going, she's like, you want a piece of this? God, I dare you.
I dare you.
Like, if I want you, if I want to have your attention, I'll let you know.
I like that.
So it's stepping it up, because apparently this pain in the ass needs to have a little bit of bluntness.
Yes.
And initially, you're not wanting to be that blunt.
But eventually you got there.
Yeah.
You're going to get there if you haven't. I've gotten there. It's great. I suggest you get there. It's super fabulous to just kind of be like, oh, by the way, I control myself now. Oh, sound guy, you don't need to be offering your services.
I was gonna say he's starting to sound like a troll.
It's only because we know him that we know better. All right. So unless you have any more questions or comments, Melissa, we're going to move on to Jody.
Jody.
I'm going to double check if Jody.
Jody, are you still here?
She did sound off.
Okay.
So, I'm just checking that she didn't already put a deck /number /
Jody is still here, so yes, excellent.
So yes,
Did you-
Jody,
did-
I did not find one. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's just me missing it, but could you give us a deck, a number between 1 and 78, and the reader that you would like to take point?
And a question if you have one. And if you don't, no big deal.
Essentially, until we're done. That's usually how these things go. We do 10 readings per stream.
Yep.
This will be
Number
number
9.
9.
Number 9.
So
Number 9. Number 9.
Jody says.
I was going to say, who all gets that reference?
I
Yeah, I know.
got that
I know
reference.
you do because you're my daughter. I'm curious how many
Am
else.
I?
How many other people out there got that reference of number 9?
Jody says 13. Let the deck pick me. How is my job doing?
Well, that definitely would not be the sex deck.
Or specifically, is my team for me or against me? Am I too aggressive?
Ooh, that's a dragon one right there.
Yes, I would say so.
Let's go with your dragons. 13, you said?
Yes.
The number of death. Change. I can almost smell what we're going to get here.
I might have to go upstairs for a moment to deal with me hiccups.
It's all for your hiccups.
Me
You noggin hiccups. I'm sorry. I'm cheating. I'm looking ahead. Look what these cards are. Is my team for me or against me? Am I too aggressive? Flip the cards.
I shall, and I'm also going to go deal with my hiccups while you talk.
How are you going to deal with your hiccups, by the way?
Water, probably.
Don't you have water in front of you?
Barely.
Barely. I need a refresher of the water. So at least all the cards are facing you, or me in this case, which means that none of them are inverted. But we have the Tower, followed by the 5 of Coins, and then the 4 of Cups. Let's just say that for your first card, you got what is referred to as stereotypically the darkest card in the deck. Some decks call the Tower of Destruction. I actually don't go with that one, to tell you the truth. But yeah, in the traditional Rider deck, that they show the Tower as a tower that's on fire with a man falling off the top of it to his death. Here you have the dragon surrounding the tower, and yes, it's on fire. And it's also being battered by this crazy storm that's going on behind it. Not like the hurricane, unlike Hurricane Ian going through Florida right now. But the idea is that you can't tell by looking at that card whether or not the dragon is actually trying to save that tower, or if he's burning it down because he's going to tear it down himself. And by the way, that's deliberate. You don't know what the dragon's actual intentions are. But one thing that you can tell is that tower is doomed. One way or the other, that tower is going to fall. And the falling tower just kind of stinks. So, Jody, the question you asked, is your team for you or against you? Are you too aggressive? Yeah, you are. The tower of your team is crashing. Again, I'm not quite sure what your intentions are, if you're actually trying to intentionally damage them, or, which I doubt, or you're just you're smart enough to kind of go, oh hell, there's one hell of a storm here. We have to do what we have to do to prevent all this. The issue is that the team essentially is the tower. They don't understand what you're doing. They don't see the big picture. Therefore, all they are dealing with is the impact of what's going on, and the tower is crumbling. They are crumbling. So communication is not the best. So I'm actually saying, are you being too aggressive? I mean, perhaps not too aggressive, but the communications are just wrong. And therefore, it's perceived that, yeah, you're a bit of a Napoleon. So from that point of view, are they really for you or against you? Well, I mean, let's face it. If they believe that you're a Napoleon, they're probably going to be more against you than they're going to be for you. So there has to be some damage control if you want to get them back. And I'm not saying that's impossible, because after all, what you have to do step out of it. Basically, pull yourself out of this maze, hover over it, kind of go, okay, rather than like, forcing it through, trying to like bulldoze your way through the maze. It's like, nah, pull away from, kind of go, see the bigger picture. See what their perspectives are in all this. See what their agendas are.
Sorry.
What are you sorry of there, kid?
I'm making a hell of a lot of noise, and I'm trying not to.
That's okay. So anyway, 5 is for reevaluation. And that's what this really, really refers to. You need that reevaluation. And then you can go back. 4 cups, 4 from the end of the phase, moving on to the new phase. And there you are, playing the role of stereotypical mommy. And then here are the little ones here. There's your team. You get to go back to them and kind of go, all right, start feeding them again. But this time from a very much a different perspective. Rather than essentially trying to bulldoze the job all the way through here, is that recognize the fact that they don't necessarily agree with everything that you're doing. And it's time to explain to them, like going, all right, take into account what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And maybe that some of their input actually is valuable. And maybe it's worthless. But if it's worthless, then it's okay to let them know that you've at least considered it.
I was going to say, they need to at least feel listened to.
Yeah, they have to feel listened to. And you could say, hey, I like the idea. I like it. You're actually, that you're thinking of this. However, that's not going to work because blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. If you give them points that show them you disagree with them, not because you just didn't listen to, but you did listen to them and you can actually refutate their points
right.
with evidence.
Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah, you got some damage control. The team, the communication is broken down, and unfortunately, you are the one that's going to have to repair it if you want to get them back.
Yes.
And that is that.
I think that is.
I was going to say, and that she has not made any comments.
Nope, she understands. We like that. We like being understandable.
We like being understandable.
Well, hey, if we are not understandable, then we're not doing a very good job.
I suppose that's absolutely true.
And Rachel, you are our last spot for the evening. Could you just comment for us again?
Okay.
If you could just comment for us again what the things that the number, the deck, the reader, and the question that you had.
And we will finish with you tonight.
And we will finish out with you. For those of y'all that wanted to have a spot tonight but did not get a chance to, we always highly encourage people to book with us before we actually do these events. This month, there was a little bit of a snafu with that.
Thank you, Facebook, for that.
I made the event, and Facebook decided to tell no one that I had actually made the event.
Well, actually, it's weird, the fact of I would go on my laptop and I could see the event. I would go on my phone and I wouldn't see it. I don't get it. And the notification process was also different. When I set this thing up, it didn't do the notification.
They're making a lot of changes that are not actually user friendly, is really what it comes down to.
Alrighty.
Can you tell me, will I find new love or stay with my ex? Number 8. And I think perhaps we should red deck that.
Oh, we have to red deck this one.
Yeah.
Will she find new love, or shall we stay with her ex? Well, actually, that's not a bit of a misnomer. Staying with your ex.
You shouldn't go back to your ex.
I was gonna say, if the person's an ex, why would you be staying with them?
I don't recommend that as a course of action, but we'll see how it goes.
I mean, if you can return to an ex, I mean, that might be for a reason behind that. But
yes, number 8.
Okay, so 8 it is. Actually, I forgot to shuffle this deck.
Shuffle that and then deal.
And then we'll go find number 8 here. Okay. All right, here's what we got. I'm sorry. No, I'm
I
not.
didn't even see it. Oh, wow. Okay.
No inverted cards. We like that.
Shall I flip?
Flip it. Flip it.
Flipping flip.
All right. So first off, we have, once again, 2 more cards of the astrology. We have the Star, which doubles as Aquarius, and we have the King of Pentacles, which doubles as Capricorn. So first thing I will say, Rachel, are either one of them either you or your ex?
Oh, and I'm also going to throw this comment up because I do enjoy when people throw in helpful comments for readings. Return to an ex and question whether that was a good decision. I agree, it's usually not. They were an ex for a reason to begin with. Yes, Jesse, that is typically very true.
I mean, never say never. I mean,
never say ever, but that's why I said typically.
Yeah. Right there, there's the typical. There's an X for a reason. So
Rachel says no. I'm a Taurus. He
Taurus,
was a Cancer.
Okay, so we have air, earth, and then more air. Ace of Swords. Swords is for air. Well, let's put it this way. You're going to find new love.
Yes.
That's
very apparent just from looking
at
the arts.
That is blunt in the fact of this. And the idea is that, okay, the X was an X for a reason. Now, again, free will, you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. So if you want to basically go back to and or stay with your ex, we're not going to tell you that's a bad thing, except the cards are kind of going, is that what you really, really want to do? So be careful what you do, because you're going to have to basically pay the price for it.
Because it sounds sort of, and again, you can feel free to tell us that we're wrong, but from where I'm sitting, this sounds more less like falling in with an ex than it is falling in with old patterns. Yeah,
and the idea is the fact what we have here are you breaking away and actually feeling more of that playfulness and experimenting and trying something that you've never done before. And I think, and by the way, the cards are all metaphors, but I'm going to go through them and just show you that what we're talking about here. First off, we have the Aquarius card, or the Star card here. This is a ritual. In the Star card, in virtually every tarot deck, you have somewhere the symbol of water being spilled, the mixture of the water of the heart and the air of the head, the logical thought process, because after all, yes, Aquarius being an air sign.
Right.
And so in this case, this specific deck or card, I should say, you are in fact the man who's laying here in the grass while this female is over anointing you with this new potion, saying it's time for you to be reborn into something else for you, because you haven't experienced these things. It's time for you to find something new. And by the way,
I'm reading it from a slightly different angle, but it gets us to the same destination.
Okay.
Even if she wasn't the male energy, this card, even if she was the female energy, pouring the water out onto the male, she's very clearly not actually into what she's doing. Looking away, being completely distracted, not paying attention, really.
Mm-hmm.
So we're interpreting it slightly differently, but it's getting us to the same end point.
Well, the idea is that it's, same old's not working out.
Right.
Now, again, you could actually be with the same person and change that level of a relationship. It's not that you have to basically you do the same thing with the same person.
But without any work, you don't want what's being offered.
Exactly. So the thing is, if you can find a way to stay with the so-called ex and rework it to improve situations, then obviously that's also a significant change. Because the middle card is really, for me, this is the dead giveaway. The King of the Earth here, where again, I realize that Capricorn is not a sign which is in your chart, okay, but there's still a little bit of Capricorn aspect, because again, think about Capricorn. One of its stereotypes as the King of Earth is my way or the highway. So the thing is, the King of the Earth has a tendency of being rather stubborn and stoic, but that is not what we have here. This is a very playful king playing peekaboo with the girl here. It's a little childish game here. And essentially, this is something for you. I mean, honestly, in this card, it doesn't really matter if you're the male or the female. It doesn't matter, because the energies are the same for both. This is the
Yeah, no, it seems more like you want more of the playfulness that's in that picture,
bingo.
and you were not getting that.
Mm-hmm. It's that whole returning to a little bit of childish freedom and wild abandon, and having that aspect of just being able to play and having fun.
Play is nice.
Play is very, very nice. And then actual real play, that's the Ace of Swords. Now, this metaphor, this obviously is
baby, bondage time.
Yeah, this obviously is a very sexual card here, but it refers to its sexual kink per se. And then, by the way, we all have a sexual kink, whether we admit it or not, because being vanilla is a kink. Hey, no judgment from either one of us, but we definitely have our own things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's very, very true. And so, yes, this is a bondage card. And again, who are you? Are you the lady tying up the man, or are you the man being tied up?
Either way, this is more in the speed of what you would like to be happening.
Right. You're looking for probably some physical experimentation. The idea is that you're looking for some new adventures, because maybe there are some things that you fantasize about and you'd love to try, and really you actually have no idea if you're actually going to appreciate it until you actually physically do it. And maybe some things work out great. Maybe you go, you know what, been there, glad I tried that, but no thanks.
Been there,
Dad,
done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah, don't need to do that a second time. But at least now I've done it. It's like now it's like it's off my bucket list.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Experimenting is nice that way.
Yeah. And I don't see you getting that right now with the X. I see that whole point of just falling back into the old patterns, which clearly didn't work the first time. She's also said in a comment since we've started that she didn't actually want her ex back, which, okay, then why are you worried about falling back in with him in the first place? Are you afraid of being alone more than you're afraid of being with an ex? Because honestly, that should be reversed. You should be afraid of being with somebody that didn't treat you well. Correct.
More than being afraid of being alone.
But a lot of people are afraid of being alone.
I understand that a lot of people are. It's just not something that I can empathize with. I don't have that same mentality myself personally.
No, me neither.
I was alone for a good portion of the time before any good relationship happened. So I got comfortable with being able to be alone.
And then you wound up being alone in a relationship at the same time.
Well, not now.
Well, not now, but I'm talking about a relationship which is now an ex.
Yes.
But there's the whole thing of actually physically being alone than actually being in a relationship and still being alone. Yeah, which actually is worse off.
Rachel is saying she gets lonely sometimes, but she feels freedom too. And so I'm also just going to throw this out at you. You may have already considered this. You may have not. You can take this with as many grains of salt as you like. But you don't necessarily have to be in a romantic relationship to not feel lonely. Maybe put some more time and effort into your platonic relationships or your familial relationships, because there are so many different kinds of love, and we know that there are, but the only one that really kind of gets any emphasis put on it is the romantic kind of love.
And I would like to point out too, in the 3 cards here, you have 3 different elements. I'm sorry, you have 2 different elements: earth and air. You have no fire. You have no water. So the idea is that, okay, maybe right now, because you're feeling maybe a little bit lonely, but you're also feeling a bit free, maybe this is saying that right now is that this actually is not a good time for you to actually have a romantic relationship where the actual true emotions come in.
I would agree with that.
But maybe it's time for actually to do a little bit of, shall we say, physical experimentation, and have a relationship which is more dominated in the sexual part and not so much the emotional part. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, by the way, as long as you're negotiating with your partner the fact of, hey, I'm not falling in love with you, so don't fall in love with me. This is just for fun, so to speak here. And as long as all parties agree to that, then there's nothing wrong with that either.
And also, I'm glad that family is important to you too. It's very good to have that another facet of love rather than, I would be much more worried if you were just solely focusing on the romantic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to flip back. But yes, so that is...
And there we go.
We definitely don't think that you will go back to your ex, but instead find something new.
That's what it suggests.
So,
And on that note, we are finished for the evening.
we are, and thank you so much for everybody that tuned in, everybody that got a reading, everybody that commented. As we say every time, without you all, we would not
wouldn't be
still
here.
be doing this.
Exactly. And so we keep coming back because you guys
Keep asking us to.
bingo. And with that saying, we'll be back sometime, some Thursday in October.
I will say, if we are not, do please give us that grace, just because October is
Crazy.
the most ridiculous month of our year. So if you don't see us until November, think not too harshly on us, but it is our plan to be back in the middle of October.
Yes, probably about 3 weeks from now. It would be my guess.
Yes, sorry, Brianna. Unfortunately, you have missed your turn, but if you like, we can leave you on the list for next month.
Absolutely.
And so on that note,
Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.